Hey, what's up you guys? So today we're going over a very popular method, and one of the main methods the top airsoft YouTubers make their videos. This method is used by top airsoft YouTubers such as Novridge, Dutch the Hooligan, Matt the Musketeer, Jet the Desert Fox, and many more. Let's jump into the cameras. Okay, so there's three main cameras airsoft YouTubers use to create videos. First up, on the left, we have the main camera, which is the head camera. This camera is used usually as a GoPro or Contour. The main ways they mount it up is head straps, or a brain exploder GoPro mount on hats, or even a helmet mount. This is the main camera to overall perspective of the gameplay and environment they play in. The second camera, shown in the far right, is a selfie camera. This is usually a GoPro, Contour, or even a run cam. These shows the player and how they move in different positions, and overall a cool different angle to create a personal angle on the player and a different perspective overall. The third camera, the one shown in the middle, is a run cam or a zoom cam with a modified lens to create a zoom effect on the shot. These cameras are very important to capture the BB movement and duration to show players getting hit. You can also add a hit marker and animation in your editing software, so even people that don't play the sport can easily find where you're shooting at and players that get hit. Now let's move on to the mounts. Okay, so here's the main mounts I run on my gun. Obviously it doesn't matter what gun, as long as it has Picatinny rails, you can mount whatever you want. So on the very front, usually the YouTubers have the run cam or zoom cam on the very front, so they don't have things like PEC boxes or flashlights distorting the image of the zoom cam. And then again, so we use Picatinny rails on my rail because it's a key mod, so I can't just mount it up, I need an actual rail. And then once that's in, I also have a mount that has a little extended GoPro mount, so I could face outward and it's not completely on the gun, so it's easier to face me and have room so it doesn't just hit against this mount. So once it's out a little bit, it can have room to face me. So in all the cameras that are mounted up, it might look something like this. Usually the run cam or zoom cam is on the very front, away from all the different distortions, such as if you had it right back here, it would get in the way of a PE kill box. So up front is the way to get a nice clean image of the shot. And then the selfie cam obviously is faced more towards the front, so you can get a wider view of yourself. And then because of the wide angle lens on the GoPros, your finger doesn't really get in the way. So if you're worried about, if you're using a pressure switch or whatever, or doing anything with your finger shooting up here, it doesn't really get in the way. And then obviously there's different ways because of different items you run your gun, such as I use a flashlight. So the way I mounted my grips, my thumb lines up perfectly, then I could still use it. And so it's just different for everyone depending on what kind of items you put on your gun or attachments, and it's just different for everyone. But usually you want to put your GoPro selfie mount on the very front so you get more of an angle, and then also the run cam on the very front so you don't have any distortion of the shot. So these are usually the three main cameras airsoft YouTubers use. Obviously some of the top people are using third person cameras on their shoulders, even drones. These aren't obviously necessary, but they do make a cool effect and add different angles and perspectives to the video, overall making it cool production. You don't need all of these cameras, obviously. These are just what the top YouTubers usually use because they're making very high quality films. And just starting out, I would not recommend just buying all this stuff. It's kind of a waste of money in the beginning. I played for years with just the head cam in this corner here with the head strap, and that was cool. It's very cool to see your own footage and use different techniques next time you go airsofting if you see yourself mess up, or even just for the enjoyment of making YouTube videos. They're very cool equipment. If you're ever thinking about starting an airsoft YouTube channel, I highly recommend just getting a head cam in the beginning again. You don't need all these fancy extra cameras in the very beginning. Once you start editing, you should get confident with editing just normal cuts and films, and then once you get confident, then you can start adding different angles and different cameras, and then you can go from there. Going over why I use certain gear in my setup. So for the GoPro Hero 4 Black, it was pretty much the highest quality, cheapest costing one, because my GoPro Hero 3 White I've had for a while, which is my selfie cam, or this one in the picture. It actually kind of went down in quality. I'm not sure if that's due to just duration of use, or am I just noticing that because of the nicer cameras coming out. I'm not 100% sure, but I really wanted to upgrade to a different head cam, especially because I play it indoors, so the lighting is a lot worse than outdoors, so you really need a better camera for that to make it a better shot. And then so for my zoom cam, I actually use a 16mm zoom lens, and then I would say most people use 35mm, which are for outdoor. That's pretty much the mid-range one. And then snipers, as like Novridge uses, he probably uses around a 90mm one for really long shots. But again, for the indoor I play usually, I really like the 16mm. Again, it really depends on your budget. Obviously, if you have a limited budget, obviously you get the nicer cameras. But if not, I would start with a head cam and really work your way up. You don't really need to go for the highest quality, newest GoPros. The Hero 4 Black works perfectly fine, and especially if you had an outdoor field, the older ones actually look very good because of the lighting, but indoor it does help to have a little bit better quality ones because the indoor lighting is not as good. Okay, so let's jump in and how the actual cameras are used to make different angles and add a cool effect during videos.
Okay, so this shows how the run cam really you could see the BBs and makes it a lot easier. If I could just use my head cam like this clip, it would just be really hard to see anyone. And then obviously the selfie cam kind of adding a cool perspective and reaction to when I shoot these guys. And then here's another example of me running, and it kind of shows my body position and how I am in certain corners. And then the run cam does its work by showing how this guy got hit. So overall, you guys don't really need to buy these 3 cameras. Obviously, just the head camera is important to make videos. It's very good to just kind of test out one and see where it goes and practice editing. And then you can obviously get more fancy, get more cameras, and then grow your channel from there.